head, and there he goes. Abyss gonna clean him up.
Olaf goes down. Everyone's just gonna line up here for Lazzy. He's gonna find himself the Quadra. Give it to him. Pentakill.
Priestley with the quad feed.
Gets the ace. Available, just spin to win all over.
That game was insane.
Hello, welcome everybody to the Saints Gaming CA channel. We are just getting underway here with PlayVS Fortnite Trios. Of course, week 3 of action here tonight, and we're in for a treat because this one is going to get messy. Of course, dropping into game number 1, we have ourselves a new patch, we have ourselves new maps, new weapons, crafting systems. This is going to be odd nonetheless, but it should be exciting as well. And it looks like to start things off here, Saints probably going to try and go for what they know best, of course, going for that far west side. But that being said, a lot of the people that they're kind of driving in here with seem to be taking the same route. Siri going to be forced to take this transport truck for a ride because, oddly enough, so many people coming with them here on this west side. I think there's at least another 2 teams. So the Saints are definitely going to have to expedite their usual farming process here. Give themselves at least a tiny bit of a breather, but it looks scary for at least the moment. And of course, my name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danner, as your host and producer here for tonight's action here for the Saints Gaming CA stream. Your hometown squad, your team here for the Saints, going to consist of course, we got coach and player and coach, of course, as Siri. We have Lasix and Junie. Trios action once again. Last time in PlayVS, or after week 2, I believe our team was within the top 20. And now we get to see if our Saints can capitalize on the chaos, which is going to be trying to learn a brand new map with all these brand new systems literally a day after it came out. I know even yesterday, of course, patch drops and there was the solos action for PlayVS as well. And a couple of the players were able to at least maybe figure out a couple of the weapons that they are a little bit more comfortable with. But the big thing that you're going to have to keep an eye on, of course, will be which kind of weapons they're picking up. I mean, of course, it's all about which rarity they are, right? Not necessarily anymore. You have basically 2 types of weapons that you could find. You can find makeshift guns, which are a little bit weaker off the start, but you can craft them with resources that you find on the map to power them up into something stronger. Or you can find what's called a primal gun. The primal guns off the bat are a little bit stronger, but not all of them can be crafted. Most of these makeshift weapons, when they do get crafted, however, become better than primals. So do you want the instant gratification of finding a primal, or possibly have something a little bit stronger towards the late game? That is going to be the risk reward per item there. Of course, sniper rifles completely taken out of the game. That being said, though, you have crossbows taking their place, which basically is going to be functioning like a sniper rifle of sorts. But instead of just raw damage, you're basically going to be able to craft crossbows with some sort of added utility. Siri was talking to me a little bit prior to the game happening that, as we see a little bit of engage here for the Saints, but you can add like fire, you can add gas to your crossbows themselves and make it like a smoke bomb or something. Now, hang on a second. Siri does happen to find one of the players here. Gonna go right point blank here with them, and with the rest of the Saints closing in, it is just a matter of time before they get knocked. Sure enough, gonna start things off strong. Gonna take your transmitter, please, and then take you down nice and quick. One elimination on the board already here for the Saints. And you may have seen actually the fish that that Siri just picked up. That fish is one of those crafting items that you would need if you do happen to get a crossbow. If you combine that with that stink fish, you then basically get a smoke canister of poison gas when you launch a crossbow shot. So there's going to be a lot of little intricacies like that going forward in this new season that even the Saints aren't necessarily 100% sure of. It's going to be interesting going forward into this game, of course. Not everybody's had a lot of time to really toy around with the game too much. I know there's definitely a couple of teams that must have went absolutely ballistic as soon as that season patch dropped, but not everybody had that privilege. Thankfully, of course, the Saints, like I was saying before, did play in yesterday's solos, so they have at least a rough idea. Green makeshift rifle on the ground there, a couple pieces of metal as well, craftable materials that are going to be absolutely critical. Another big difference that was brought to my attention by Siri is the fact that the way the map's changed, it makes it much harder for longer range spotting. You'll notice that this map, compared to what was going down in the last season, as we do see the crossbow coming out here, is he going to actually combine this thing? He very well might. We'll see in a moment. But the map, it is now all full of wildlife, full of nature. We're going to see, actually, that's what it's going to look like when they end up crafting something. You can level it up to a blue, and now that it's a blue, he has the stinkfish, and now he's got himself a crossbow, basically acting like a sniper, but also with that poison gas, especially when we start getting into those end-game clusters. Being able to smoke somebody out is going to be so valuable. Yeah, in regards to the map itself, again, like, there's no big deserts, there's no gigantic plains that you can walk across and basically be a sitting duck for. It's constantly full of cover, trees all across the map, and spotting people out is going to be just that much more difficult, unless you just walk into them point blank here, as we do see Siri does find somebody. He's going to try and take himself the high ground. Junie and Lazik's going to be nice and close behind as well. Open fire, gets him into the white, I do believe, in this situation. There's going to be the smoke arrow. We'll have to see where it ends up showing up. Just going to try and pinch him in there, it looks like. Force him to come out. Put him at least into a bit of an awkward spot. Siri still point blank here with the other player, just on the other side of the wall. And going to continue just to keep using those crossbows. You're not going to be safe in your own hut. You're going to just get completely smoked away. Got to keep on moving in those scenarios. And of course, for tonight's action, we're going to strictly have Siri's point of view unless he does end up going down. Unfortunately, there are a couple spectator bugs in the current patch that do need to be fixed up a little bit. Would not allow me to switch point of views or even find our team. So I'm going to strictly just use Siri's point of view for now. We'll continue to play around the new, or the spectator system once the patch does get fixed up. In the meantime, we do see Junie leading the charge here with the rest of the Saints still trying to get the finishing blow onto this guy, really giving the Saints a run around. Just ring around the entire place, apparently. Oh, can he actually get... Siri does get jumped on a little bit. Took a ton of damage via a shotgun shot, and he is going to go down from behind. Junie coming in for the save, however, before Siri does get taken down. Get him to safety. Throw him aside. Watch out, though, from the top. Wilgio on the side of some other collegiate team is going to make a mess out of things. It is going to be Junie now in position with the player right in front of him. Lazik's not too far behind. Solid shotgun shot. That was a knock there for Junie, but at the same time, Junie gets knocked down as well. Lazik's the only one alive. The storm has shown up. Junie is probably not going to be able to get revived here in this situation, so the chaos is already starting off a little bit rough here for the Saints. Good shotgun shot here for Lazik's, but he's got to think about maybe making a run for it because the storm is still ticking. You can pop as much shields as you want, but of course, that's one thing that has not changed. The storm does not care about your shields. Lazik's does have a first aid pack if necessary. Big shot again, going to take away any shields that player had. Is going to end up popping the health pack. Keep himself in this game just a little bit longer. Actually kind of canceled it, so he's... Oh, never mind, just a little bit of lag looks like. But yeah, Lazik's going to be taking damage, but still going head-to-head against that other player that did take out Junie earlier. And technically, it's still extremely early in this first game. Still 72 players alive in this matchup, and the fact that Saints are already kind of scavenging for survival is a little bit concerning, but Lasix does a fantastic job of just timing out the person inside the storm. Is going to end up picking up all of the loot left behind. There's still somebody else maybe right around the corner, however, so has to be careful. As soon as he has the opportunity, could definitely go out. The storm, or the safe zone's not far away, but time is not exactly on his side. 30 seconds left before it starts moving once again. Pop the shield, maybe pop another first aid. Then he has to go. Down to 20 health. This is going to end up getting moving. He has to use the first aid. Basically in the open. Going to be able to get it down just in the nick of time, I do believe. Bandages as well. Going to come in clutch, it looks like. Going to have ourselves a quick in regards to settings, apparently. Siri's trolling me a bit. Okay, we're good there. So Lasix still alive, still fighting through the storm. Finds himself our stinkfish, it looks like. Still fighting through the storm. We have ourselves how many players here? About 68, 69 players so far. Still very early here. And the fact that Lasix has been playing here in the storm for so long is absolutely brutal. I mean, at least the Saints were able to get at least 2 eliminations at the very minimum. Looks like a crossbow there for him. And that is one of those smoked ones too, so nice pickup there. Was able to find, that might have been series as well. So now that he's got that picked up, and try and make the run for it now. Does have one more first aid pack in action here. And Junie is actually alive. How the heck did that happen? Getting absolutely baited here tonight, apparently, but that's okay, I suppose. I definitely must have missed something there, but it's good on the Saints to have Junie back into this game as well. At least has the shotgun available, plus the healing meds and a couple of shields. Keep himself going. Pretty far ahead of Lasix, however, so I might be trying to just play it a little bit safer. Wait until Lasix is a little bit closer. That might be lagging for me, but it might. There it is. Okay, sure enough. Junie going to keep himself in the game just a little bit longer. Lasix going to be just around the corner. Actually coming in via zip line, so he's going to be able to get there nice and quick. Good find, good usage of that zip line. Going to be able to make it just in time. Good thing. Did not have any more healing left, but he's going to get open fired upon instantly as soon as he got into the safe zone. Junie's defending from one side. Lasix a little bit further up. Very wounded, however, due to the battles in the storm, or traversing the storm for so long. Saints going to try and take the river at this point, considering how beaten and battered they are. Probably don't want to find themselves in a position to find an engagement, rather try and get themselves at least a little bit closer towards the end of the game, get themselves a couple extra points in this PlayVS series just by surviving. Of course, they do have at least 2, maybe more eliminations on the board for them right now. Yeah, as you can tell from some of the players kind of skating around a little bit. Unfortunately there for this patch, with the patch being so new, some of the features are still a little bit in progress. We are going to see Lasix get open fired upon, barely going to keep himself alive. No, going to end up getting knocked a little bit further away from Junie as well. So Lasix is going to end up going down. And now it's going to be all up to Junie. Definitely needs to look to be as low profile as possible. Take an opportunity to see if you can snag a little bit of loot moving forward. Manages to find a yellow shoddy, but it may not be the kind that he specifically wants. Or try and top off with a couple fish prior to moving forward here. Storm moves in closer. Junie, of course, last one alive, able to keep himself out of the storm, sitting with 100 health, but does not have full shield as of this moment. Opt to keep the stinkfish and instead of taking the first aid med. Granted, you can eat the fish way quicker than you can actually eat the, or not eat the first aid med, but use the first aid med. And if you're eating the first aid med, I think you're doing it wrong. Okay, apparently if you're eating the fish, you can use the fish as a smoke grenade in itself, and that really forced somebody out of position. That's going to be a nice little pickup there from Junie. Good play with the stinkfish. And now Junie, of course, 100. Actually feeling pretty good. Got that extra elimination. Guaranteed the team another 2 points. Now just how long can he stay low and keep this game alive for themselves? Because there's still quite a few people alive. Just over 60 players here around the Colossal Crops area. Another minute until Storm closes in on this next location. And we'll have to see if Junie has to make a run for it once again. Oh, Siri, or not Siri, Junie tried to get the jump onto somebody. However, no contact made, and it could have given away his position. We'll have to see. Gonna open fire there. Maybe try a third party at additional engagement. Of course, could definitely be beneficial, but of course, giving away your position could be very nerve-wracking if a team of 2 or 3 happens to jump onto Junie. Did eat a little bit of shield damage in that last engagement. Shots fired, only going to take him up for a little bit of shield damage. Going to try and chase, actually. Knocks him down into the white. Not sure if he's actually knocked him completely or not, however. And it looks like he very well might have. I do see Junie's name up on the left side, so Junie going to get himself 3 eliminations here for the Saints squad. Even when acting as a solo. Doing a fantastic job keeping the Saints in the game, which is really interesting. Normally, when we get to these end-game scenarios, it seems to be Siri who's been the last one alive. Then I guess last week, we did see Lasix clutch up for one of the series to, I believe, give Saints a victory royale even during one of the final games of Week 2. And it always felt like Junie was a bit more of like a supportive kind of player, but definitely showing that he can keep team on his shoulders as well when the time calls. Guaranteeing the Saints get themselves in the upper half of this lobby. Otherwise, if the Saints just dropped really quickly, they would have been done before 70 players were even, or with 70 players in a game, they would have not gotten much points based off of positioning. Junie was able to make his move and find himself a safe spot for at least a moment. I'm trying to figure out alongside you guys what the heck that squid just did. It attached itself to the wall, and I'm not sure if it ate through it or not, but it's a bunch of new things, of course, with this Fortnite season. We're all learning together here. This is where things start to get kind of messy, however. Junie being the lone wolf of the squad. Trying to maneuver himself alongside the storm. Does not have really anyone for cover fire or anything like that either, so as soon as he makes his move, there's always a chance that a group of 2 or 3 just catch him and just basically jump him, but we'll have to see as this game goes along here. Of course, game 1 out of a possible 10 on the board here tonight. Okay, some shots being fired here from Junie. Not sure if they made contact, however. A little bit of server lag going to make this a little bit messy here for us. Continually just trying his best, Junie, to keep himself alongside the storm. You can see other players, a bunch of other colleges, keeping themselves nice and close. Shotgun blast. Did that actually touch Junie? I don't think it has. It was a close call. We do see them actually trying to close onto Junie. He's really trying to get the high ground, trying to escape from this, but it does leave himself a little bit open. He was hit, but for how much? For about 40, or 35 rather. So down to 65 shields, but that's about it. Still has a decent amount of health to go into this late game battles. They're down to 34 players here in this game. Saints, as of this moment, with I believe 5 eliminations on the board. Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit irritating. So not only is that storm getting smaller every single round, but at the same time, it's just going back and forth all over the place. And Junie, oh no, falls into a pit of other players. You're not getting out of that one alive. And that is going to have the Saints putting themselves in 12th for game number 1. Definitely interesting nonetheless. I think the Saints scored themselves about 38 points in game number 1 for PlayVS. There is a there's a link that I meant to grab you prior to the stream happening, but I totally blundered. That would be, of course, Fortnite Tracker, because that will allow you to keep an eye on this session as the game goes on, or as these matches go on. See if I can find it real quick. PlayVS College. There we go. Post that in just a moment. Ah, bingo. Okay. Okay, there. In the Twitch chat right now is the Fortnite tracker. So this will allow you to see the results strictly from this session here. Of course, with the Saints find themselves 38 points. This does put them where exactly? In theory, this would have put them in the lead, question mark, as soon as this refreshes, because the highest team I see right now is 32 points. So, in theory, might be a nice start here for our Saints squad. But that being said, we'll have to see in just a second. Looks like Lasix saying in the chat too, the servers feel like you're playing from Australia or oceanic servers. So it's definitely not what you'd like to see for a competitive environment, but I guess if there is some sort of small victory, it's the fact that everybody is stuck with the exact same server lag and whatnot here tonight, so everybody's playing on the same playing field. But you can probably hear it. We're already going to be hopping into game number 2. Looks like we're aiming for the exact same spot. Let's see what the Saints can pull off this time. Now, one of the other things that have to keep an eye on too is that, like, in the last little bit, the Saints would always look for certain NPCs or so nice. Finding the purple bow off the start, the one that sets things ablaze. Very nice find there for Siri. But let's go back to what I was talking about. One thing, of course, we're going to have to worry about is the location of some of these NPCs. A lot of the Saints' strategy in the past was basically trying to get whatever weapons they could, but then leveling them up via bounties from some of the NPCs. But that being said, a lot of these NPCs have moved, or their quests have changed if they have not, or rather their bounties would have changed compared to what they were before. So definitely could throw a wrench into the swing of things here. Maybe, of course, asking yourself, why beat up the transport truck? Why not use it? Like, in the broken down cars or cars and trucks and whatnot always have a chance now to drop some of those metal craftable items, which are definitely going to be critical when trying to level up your guns or get yourself into the guns with special effects. Rather than take the transport, try to find some of those harder to find materials. Okay, getting the update right now in regards to the Saints' positioning. As of this moment, they are right in position number 20. With the first place team have themselves a solid first round with 62. So Saints have a little bit of catching up to do if they want to try to find themselves that first spot. But of course, we still have plenty of time here tonight, whether it be 10 games in total or till 11 o'clock EST, PM EST. Still plenty of time to make this work. By seeing the truck say Rocket League radio, that does remind me, be sure to join us for a Rocket League doubleheader tomorrow, starting at 8 p.m. There should be a play versus match at 8 and then one at 9:30 as well. It's the Endeavor, Kamal, and Garashi all in action for the season opener of Play versus Rocket League. Gonna be a nice little extra find there for Siri. Find himself the shotgun alongside rifle. Basically has everything he could possibly want, plus potions for days as well. Gonna try and hand some off over to Junie and Lasix as well. But puts the Saints in a decent position. Of course, those small potions, you do want to keep a couple of them on hand in case you do find yourself into a gunfight, considering those small potions take less time to actually chug compared to the blues. That being said, though, you can't go past 50 shields with them, so that's why having all of these blue potions are definitely strong as well. As we see Siri loaded up with 3 of them as of this moment. This game moving a little bit quicker compared to the last one. Last time by, at this point, we still had like 80 people still left in the game, but we're already down to 63. I cannot recall if we started with the full 99 this time or not, but Saints being able to move themselves up further ahead off the start is definitely a good sign. Let's see if we can find any more of those extra metal pieces, those circular ones that we'd be looking for. I think he found about 2 of them. And I do believe you can pass those on like other building resources as well. Possibly being able to level up an assault rifle or a shotgun later on down the road there with those crafting pieces. Yeah, so unfortunately there for Siri, that bounty that did end up popping up was to hunt a specific player. Not exactly the kind of one that they would be looking for. Oftentimes, if you do get a bounty that's like just protect your own teammate, those ones are just free gold at that point, and those are very easy to complete and be able to use towards upgrading a weapon. So hence the bounty failed that time by trying to hunt somebody specific. Now, at least in this situation, Saint Squad able to hop into their sedan and get themselves out of Dodge, out of that storm this time by. I know it really messed up their early game, considering they had so many skirmishes early, put them in the storm, forced them to blow through so much healing materials. At this point, Siri was dead in the last game, and Junie had gotten revived. And the only downfall, however, as we do see Siri getting kind of baited out by the log and the rope there this time by. I mean, with no engagements, of course, no eliminations equals no points in that regard, so going to have to definitely make up for it in regards to their finishing position as of this rate, unless they can find some additional eliminations as this game goes on. In the grand scheme of things, still relatively early. However, 55 players left in the game. Apparently, Siri is just the caller of blue potions, constantly finding potion after potion here, pretty much wherever he goes. And I do believe that was a pump shotty coming, or that was a pump shotgun that was handed over to Siri that time by. Was initially blue, but of course was able to craft that one up to a purple rarity, better damage, better accuracy, exactly what he needs for those close range engagements. In theory, he should have basically one of every type of style engagement that he would want. Long range with the crossbow, medium range with the assault rifle, and then of course has that shotgun for close quarters encounters. Finally, after a relatively quiet early game, Saints finally going to find themselves some contested territory right on the outskirts of this west side of the new safe zone, the new Eye of the Storm, if you will. Already a couple pyramid structures. Definitely looks like an engagement would have occurred here at some point or another. Series spots a squad, however, of course, that is the explosive arrows too, so even if the shot hits the ground or something a little bit low, doesn't quite get it out properly, those arrows will explode or start burning things down and will catch buildings on fire as well. Solid shot there for Siri. That did a solid chunk of damage. 60, I think, initially, but then 2 extra hits from the explosion as well. You kind of see the effects of those fire bolts in action, just eating away at whatever building happens to be there. Just another way to try and flush out some of these opponents and maybe, just maybe, finally get the Saints into some engagements. Try and maybe find themselves a knock or two. Try and make this happen towards Lazy Lake. Saints in progress of getting ready to set up a fort. However, the Eye of the Storm kind of moves a little bit, so they're going to have to shift their fort to not necessarily be with the building, but instead try and get a little more centered here. But they're going to get open fired upon. A little bit of damage going into Siri's shield. Shots fired from across the street. Are incoming as well, which might be carrying another team. They're going to try and take the high ground, bring the rest of the squad with them. Does not want to face that car head on. Some more shots fired. Going to be taking some of Siri's shields again. First potions ready and waiting. Okay, arrow not quite going to find its mark. Does give his position away, however, and he's going to get open fired upon just a little bit. But nice part for St. Clair going into this next section, as I do manage to find somebody maybe overextending themselves just ever so slightly. Get a little bit of damage onto him, but nothing too significant as of yet. Yeah, the nice thing for St. Clair in this situation, pretty much dead center of the Eye of the Storm. Everybody on their squad are nice and close, bundled up with each other. Also very healthy as well, just a little bit of health damage and very minor shield damage for Siri. And if there's one thing that, of course, that does not change here in competitive Fortnite, that's these endgame fort battles are going to start getting nuts. Probably just about another 2 to 3 minutes time. Little bit of action below. Siri gonna try and take a pot shot here at this team that's trying to retreat. And shots fired, of course, from the other side here, going up against the Saints. Okay, and it looks like this crossbow specifically, not so much a fired coating bow, but more like a mortar shell, kinda. But Siri getting jumped on a little bit. Junie right there alongside him. But that's a lot of damage coming through the floor and through the ceiling, so going to have to make a run for the hills. Going to be knocked down to basically their HP. Shields basically gone. 10 left. I'm trying to hold off the onslaught just a little bit more until the rest of the Saints can come trying to reinforce Siri and maybe try and make a move to the outside. But again, there's so much ammunition getting poured into this wall. Saints in a bit of a pickle. Junie did get knocked, so he's going to be out of the play for at least a moment. Lasix is still here. That being said, though, Siri is able to get Junie out of dodge, possibly get him back and revived just in time. Has a shield potion ready for him in just a moment, but has to keep him revived in the meantime. Just enough time. There you go. Drops the potion for him. Everybody going to top on off. Junie's still in the game. This is going to be 2 games in a row where he's basically gone down, but teammates get him back up. And even though he may not be the most healthy as of this moment, I mean, if he takes that health pack, he should be A-okay. But never say die there for the Saints and for Junie. $50 players still left in the game, and we're about to get into the section where it starts getting extremely difficult to deal with. That storm not going to be in the Saints' favor at all, so they're going to have to make a run for it at some point or another. Oh, good jump there for the Saints as they're able to tag a lot of damage onto one player. Not enough to take him down. They're going to try and use this extra crossbow, try and blow away some of these walls. Little extra mortar shell styles, just trying to tear through the wall. Maybe not as successful at trying to flush a player out, but that being said, if a player rotates the wrong way, walks into one of those, that's definitely going to hurt like hell. Did you see basically 30 damage from just a secondary explosion? Not to mention with all of the ammunition the rest of the Saints are pouring in here. Good damage, 20 damage per explosion that time by hitting twice. So that player is down into the white. Basically gone. They can find the finishing blow. That would definitely be huge. Right now, I don't think they have any eliminations on the board. They did find the player in question. Just a matter of finishing them off. Quite a few players have fallen within the last couple of seconds. We're down to 42 now. Through the wall we go. Tags on the players for a tiny little bit. And bring up those explosive bolts once again. Whichever team that is, forced to run for the hills for at least this moment. Big shot actually here from Siri. He's going to find the snipe actually. Verdon, I think that was Orzo Duck. Not sure which school he's from, but it's going to be the elimination. Just going to make sure that they can find themselves that finishing blow, get themselves that point. So Saints going to get their first kill on the board here for game number 2. I like the fact that they picked up the player, yeeted them basically a little bit into a safer position, just to make sure that they can get the finishing blow and that nobody else stuck it in there on them. the Storm on the move. Saints making their way to try and get themselves into a fine position for these late game battles, and they're starting to find a couple engagements as well, trying to chase down yet another player. Going to elude them for at least a moment, but not for very long. Siri does, of course, spot them out. Huge shotgun blast. 148 with one shot alone. Without questions, any shields that player had is absolutely gone at this point. Big damage coming out here from Siri again. This one going to hit for 80. Lasix is going to be taken down and instantly taken out as well. So no more Lasix for this game. That being said, Siri going to be able to find the refrag of sorts here onto one of those players. Gets a jump on them. Does end up finding the final one. I think it's going to be 3 eliminations in the pocket of St. Clair. Fired upon from behind. A nice little elimination for Siri. Somebody must have been left in the Storm. He got credited for the kill, but I don't remember him taking any shots. So that is going to be number 3. It looks like there for Siri at least. Not sure how many Junie currently has or Lasix, so we'll have to see momentarily to get ready to wrap up this second game. As we're within 10 players left to go. Junie does end up going down. So Siri, late game Siri is always nuts. So we're looking forward to seeing what he could pull off. Guaranteeing the top 8. But let's see if he can manage to get a little further. Maybe sneak himself out a couple eliminations as well. Would be absolutely nuts. We'll have to see in a second. Somebody's definitely trying to pressure him from up above. Bit of an awkward spot to try and be in. He's trying to make a move. However, wherever he goes, he is just getting absolutely melted. Of course, going to find some of the meat, but that meat is basically just a faster first aid kit, and that is going to be the kill going over to Siri, and that gets himself another, but going to end up getting into second position. One more shot from behind finishes him off. So now that last one gave them about 90 some odd points here. We're going to hop on back over here to us while they do end up queuing up for the next game. But solid job there for St. Clair. Managed to pull off a second place finish, plus wrapped up quite a good handful of eliminations in the very end of that game. So a good start going into this one. Going to take ourselves a very, very quick break before game number 3. Quick water break for myself, and then before you know it, we'll be right back and we'll figure out exactly where our Saints stand here in the week 3, or this week 3 session of the PlayVS Fortnite Trios. If you've not done so already, be sure to follow us here on the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports channel for Saints Gaming CA. Make sure you catch all the action from our Saints Varsity Esports team matches. We have plenty around the corner here for the rest of the week coming up, going into next week, of course, starting off tomorrow, 5:30 with NECC Overwatch action. Then we have ourselves a double header at 8 o'clock, then 9:15 for PlayVS Rocket League. We then have some collegiate Hearthstone happening on Friday at 8 o'clock. Then Saturday, we have some, what used to be TESPA, but is now the Activision Blizzard Collegiate Cold War season at 7. Then season finale for the Face It CSGO Contenders League. It's going to be Sunday at 5. Make sure you catch the action live. If you can't, that's A-OK. Make sure you follow us on Twitter to make sure you get all the results and any of the additional news going forward with these next couple of matches. Some of the teams finishing up season, some of them just getting started. But speaking of just getting started, we're about to hop in the game number 3. Let's get into it. Game 3, we're going to ride along with Junie for this time by. And taking a look at the results, just going to get confirmed here for everybody in just a second. Okay, it does appear that Junie's does not have any sound, so we're going to probably bounce between Siri and Junie a little bit throughout this matchup. But yeah, with the Saints, as of right now, 98 points on the board for them so far in this Week 3 PlayVS Trios session, which does put them in 3rd. So far, so good, but there are a couple of teams who had themselves some pretty good starts as well, including one team that looks like they got themselves about 97 points right off of one game alone, which is going to be extremely fearsome to try and deal with. Siri's got himself into a bit of a battle, so we're going to hop in and see what's going on there. Does have himself a crossbow, however, not a whole heck of a lot of ammo for it. Trying to catch somebody going across the pond, but not going to quite find them just yet. I think that was Lasix pointing out somebody from the other side as well. Just crossbow shots back and forth across both teams, but nobody getting tagged as of this moment. A little bit of an early scuffle here for the Saints going to Game 3. Alright there, right along with Junie once again here as the battle seems to be continuing, possibly with some different teams this time by. And lots of resources built up pretty early here. Junie can take a little bit of heat. Lasix is the one who's a little bit worse for wear on the side of the Saints as of right now. Good little cutoff there for Junie. Stop that building from getting any higher. However, blasted down to about half of his HP. Has to be very careful at this point. Syrian Lasix up in the high ground. Then Junie going to catch the guy on the bottom, nearly dodging that shotgun shot, but I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to last. Not going to be able to last very long, it seems to be. He is going to get eliminated here by Shift X, so he's going to go down rather quickly here. Going to ride along now with Lasix. As this match continues, both of the remaining Saints very wounded, a little bit worse for wear here, still extremely early into this game as well. Not sure how they're going to be able to hang on to this one. Lasix down to about this last little bit of health and only has bandages to try and keep himself in this game. Siri looking pretty worse for wear as well with nothing but I think one potion. and they are trying to hunt them down. Lasix is down to next to a smidgen. Is going to get taken down, and damn, a rough one there for the Saints. They just could not find the shots that they were looking for, and they're going to go out early here in this one. That one definitely going to hurt a little bit. Puts them to 102 points, which then in theory should still keep them around that top mark, but as soon as some of these other games end up finishing up, we will probably see them drop down just a little bit. With that one going quickly, it looks like there's going to be just a small little pause period once again before we hop into the next round. So bear with us, another very quick break, and we'll get into the next round. All right, dropping into game number 4 after an extremely quick game 3. Unfortunately, the Saints just got caught with their pants down, basically, and could not find the early fight that they were looking for. Tried to make it happen with some long-range crossbow shots, but just did not go in their favor in the slightest. One by one ended up getting picked off, and now get to reboot and try again. Of course, definitely one of the beauties of being able to have up to 10 rounds in every single session. You're not always going to have a banger, but you can just go on and fight back next time by. A much quieter start, to say the least, here for our St. Clair squad in Game 4. Nobody else landing really anywhere near them. Lets them actually play to the game plan that they know and love. Even though the season's changed, even though the map has definitely become a little different, weapons are a little bit different and whatnot, still able to land into the same place and just basically modify their past strategy to work for another season. So solid job nonetheless in that regard. How are they playing so far? Overall positive. Of course, I believe they're in the top 5 as of this moment. Some damage actually getting shot here from serious point of view. Something exploded. Not exactly sure what that was there. Yeah, just like what Atmosphere was saying. Yeah, game 1 was solid. I think we were in the top 15 that time by. Game 2, of course, Saints got themselves in second. Siri getting them close, finding a couple last-minute eliminations. But then game 3, the Saints got absolutely jumped on right off the spawn, so that did not go in their favor in the slightest. Here we are, game number 4. This car is on fire, but they're still going to try and make this work. Still has about half of its health available. Looks like they got smoked by like a flaming crossbow or something, because that garage was absolutely blazing. Oh, a little bit of a cheap shot here onto a couple of the, or this one team in the truck. Nobody gonna get knocked out of it, but decent damage onto the truck nonetheless. It looks like Siri's gonna go opt to take this castle-looking thing up in the north. Junie and Lasix, however, going to be a little bit short to follow behind here in the Smoke and Rocket League car. This being a much quieter start here for the Saints, this does give them the opportunity to farm up as much as possible. Try to do it now so you don't have to worry about it later. In regards to Arsenal, Siri looks like he has basically everything he would want, just gotta level it up with some crafting when the time comes. Sure enough, he's going to upgrade that assault rifle to a Scar, so gets one of the better assault rifles, if not basically the second best assault rifle in the game, just off of crafting, which is always cool. Nice little change to Fortnite nowadays. Junie's showing up with the ride right at the right moment, right as the storm was getting ready to make its way over. May have to be careful though, seems like gas is not necessarily on their side. Based off of the beeping I was hearing, they do find themselves another NPC. Is there anything he has? Or the Saint Squad? Looks like a specific elimination quest. No, that was from earlier. So maybe nothing of value this time by. But it's in times like these where they're all this open driving time, you can really tell the difference between the maps from last season to this season now. Normally, when the Saints would be crossing on over, right at the spot right here where the boneyard would be, or the bony... What does it say? Bony... Well, we'll see in a second. But this area here used to just basically be all desert with those crystals, right? Now, even this place completely filled with nature. Buildings and trees. I know buildings aren't necessarily nature, but the point being, it's the fact that it's not just flat land that you can just snipe people across the side anymore. Speaking of which, however, it looks like Siri is going to spot somebody out right in front of him, actually. Opens fire, goes point blank here with Siri. He's going to eat a little bit of damage for his troubles. We'll have to see, however, how this one ends up going down. Junie on hot pursuit has himself a bit of a better angle, finds himself a good 60 damage or so onto his health. Shield's gone on that member. Storm is showing up to make things a little bit more difficult as well. Trying to plow through the building as much as possible. Not quite able to finish him off just yet. Finally, going to be the knockdown there for Junie, and that is going to be the elimination as soon as they find him. There it goes. Junie going to pick that one up and get the first elimination on the board here for the Saints in Game 4. Now, it may not be a first aid kit, but at least Junie in this situation has plenty of bandages, so at least got himself up to 75% health when the time comes. Nice finding some loot down below, as there are a couple members from another team trying to make it out of the storm. Possibly get some storm exiting frags if they can find themselves a solid position to do so. Potion opportunity here for Junie, get himself all topped off. Saints rather healthy. They can definitely look to make a move. I know Siri's already trying to look to find some snipes right onto one of the cars, actually. Not going to find it, at least not this time. Junie has it as well. That last one was a hit, however, there for Siri. Might have been right on the car, though, so... Of course, cars have a gigantic amount of health. You can't take it down with just one snipe. A good opportunity now here for Junie as well. Level his own assault rifle up to a Scar. Purple assault rifle. Good damage, good accuracy. Can't ask for anything more except maybe a legendary version of it if you can find it. Have enough to upgrade his crossbow as well. Just needs a moment to actually go for it. Considering the storm's right behind him, now might not necessarily be the right time. I'm going to try and use this river. Dolphin dive their way through it. "66 players still in the game. Saints as a whole have themselves 2 eliminations to start things off. Good start going into Game 4. Still rather healthy, but still a long way to go. Oh, somebody just to the left, actually. Saints opt to take advantage and try and take a shot at them. I think Siri was thinking about it, but maybe just too open. There's more teammates of that player right around the corner as well. Looking for shots fired. Siri gonna find a couple. Little shot there from Junie as well. More players off to the right of their location as well. Starting to get a little bit busy, and it's still rather early in this game. Just a lot of the players seem to be on a bit of a collision course here with each other, with Siri getting open fired upon. No damage taken yet, though. And Junie, what on earth? There's a player who just hops right on down, finds him with the shotgun, goes right through all of his HP. Thanks or nothing there. Junie gonna end up going down. At least small victory here for Lasix, has the high ground advantage. Nobody able to really sneak attack onto him. If anything, he can get the jump onto somebody. He's going to jump down, get some good damage, is going to get the knockdown. Just a matter of finish him off does end up being the case. So that's going to be kill number 3 now, going into the favor of St. Clair. Siri a little bit lower, forced to potion up, but is A-okay here in this situation. Fully loaded on shield now, but gonna have to bandage himself up compared to having a health pack or something like that. Lasix still trying to hunt maybe that last member. Gonna get some decent damage off, but not enough to take him down just yet. They do have to worry about that storm that's gonna be around the corner if they're not careful. Well, Lasix does get hit up a little bit, loses a bunch of his shield, down to next to nothing. Does have those small potions to keep himself in the game, however, going to bring himself back up to 50 shield, 90 health. Tries to get the drop down. He does not win that fight, however, and is going to get taken out. And it's going to be all down to Siri to try and get the Saints into the late game here, and they're already kind of stuck inside of the storm zone here. Siri looking for some pot shots, not quite going to find the finishing blow. Had them in the white. Nothing but bandages here for Siri to finish off this game as of this moment. Can somehow get out of this alive, that would be incredible. That being said, he's getting absolutely lit up. Going to try and use these bushes as cover, but I'm not sure if he is going to be able to survive this one. That player seems to be very focused on hunting him down. Going to try and make a move for it. Rifle in hand just in case somebody tries to pop out at him. But that being said, though, in a one-on-one, he is so low on health, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. Has to stop for some bandages just in the nick of time. Going to keep him alive. And he's got to move here. It's getting to the point now where the storm is basically ticking more damage than what he can heal. Does end up going down. Nothing he could end up doing there. So it is going to be Saints going down at 20th. A bit of an earlier exit than what we're used to here from the St. Clair squad, but just unfortunately, another fight just not necessarily going into their favor. This does now put them with 121 points in the session here tonight. So let's see if we can refresh and see where that does end up putting them in this round. Top team is currently sitting with 183 points, it looks like. Of course, I'll actually give you all that link once again here if you do want to follow along with us here throughout the evening's action. Fortnite Tracker will be your go-to for that. Let's see, 121. This would have Saints just inside of the top 25, it looks like. Give or take any other teams finishing their match. So a couple of rounds not necessarily going the Saints' way. Game 1 and 2 are very good. 3 and 4, not so much. Still trying to fight their way back into this one. Game 5 going to be right around the corner. Basically the halfway point here in this session. Still got either 5 more rounds after this, or until we hit 8 o'clock, or not 8 o'clock, until we hit 11 o'clock here. 11 o'clock p.m. EST, of course. So still plenty of time for the Saints to make their moves, get themselves set up for a couple long runs. I feel it coming. We're in the matchmaking. We'll be right back when we jump out of the bus. As we're sailing in for game number 5, do of course want to give a quick thank you to the sponsors that do make things all possible here at the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. Of course, being St. Clair College, Zuckelman School of Business and Information Technology, PC Outlet, Tim Hortons, St. Clair's SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Thank you for supporting us here on the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports squad. Game 5 is looking like it's going to start out with a bang, and that's a huge pickup here for Siri, or for Junie rather. Does pick up a shotgun right away, but unfortunately does not get the jump necessary. Siri's going to dive on in, instantly gets himself taken down. They are going to be able to take out the player that did take him out, at least for the moment. It was a very close call, but not quite going down, not this time. Keep Siri in the game. And at least there for Siri, he was able to get himself pretty much back up to 75%. So, in all honesty, solid start here for the St. Clair squad. Unfortunate there that first initial shotgun blast there from Junie did not necessarily make as much contact as he would have wanted to. But Siri basically sacrificing himself, getting knocked but not getting killed, was enough for the distraction for Lasix and Junie to finish the job. So that will do this time by, but the battle very well might not be finished here. Maybe some teammates of the player that did get fragged out early looking to maybe get some revenge here on the St. Clair squad. Couple shots back and forth, but Saints keeping themselves healthy for at least a little bit longer. Do hear some sizzling buildings, however, so it might be getting heated up in just a moment. Siri does have the high ground, but somebody is coming from the other side, looking to maybe get the flank here onto him. See if we can hop on over to Siri's point of view in just a second. Where in the world is this player? Lasix is trying to chase him down, actually. Junie is getting targeted a little bit, nearly going down, hanging on by literally 2 health. Siri has been knocked again. Did they get the player? However, they did. Lasix did finish the job there. So, could possibly pick Siri back up. There's going to be the health kit available here for Junie, and actually going to need it more than Siri in this case. 25 health compared to 2 health. Junie's going to take this one every time, for sure. The action might not be done just yet, but actually, never mind. That is going to be Siri driving around, going off to the beach, farm up this section instead. Junie going to be able to make his way back out and take a small sigh of relief, knowing that that team has been wiped. Saints do end up cleaning things up. Now they can actually farm this place out, but they're going to have to move sometime soon. The storm is right around the corner. Yeah, they definitely get the opportunity to breathe now. Lots of time for them to make something happen. Load up. Don't stress. Let's just get to that end game. See if we can get ourselves maybe a better finish than 20 this time by. Now, Junie might have disconnected, unfortunately, there, so we're going to hop on over to Siri's side of things. We'll see in a second. Unfortunately for Junie, it would not be the first time that he has had a DC happen for himself in the middle of a series. Probably not the first time that it's happened during a Game 5 as well, oddly enough. Never mind, looks like Junie is in fact back in the game. Unfortunately, may have just had to step away for just a second. But at least it was early enough into the game that he can get away with that with no big deal. So all is good there. Yeah, had a little bit of excitement early, but ever since then, a little bit quiet here for the Saints going into this next one. Now that a couple of the other games have completed, they are in the top 50, but they did drop down a good handful of spots. Those last 2 rounds of going down early, definitely going to mess with them just a little bit. Now here, chest opening, that's where Siri is at, just causing a mess down in this Coral Castle area. First time getting to actually see this area. It actually looks pretty cool, to be completely honest. This is probably the most open spot on the map compared to how it used to be. But a very, very nice location. Gonna find themselves a couple pieces of utility, get themselves a shotgun as well. Always good in that regard. NPC, you have anything good for me? You give him a fishy. And the action's now underway here this time by Saints going up against an NPC, however. Kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. Thought they were just going to have themselves a friendly little chat, but not going to be the case this time. Take them down, get themselves some good loot, find themselves another chest as well. A couple of additional resources in the bank. Catching out one of these boats, traveling on through. Some decent damage getting put out here from Siri, a couple hundred rather. Not onto a player, going to be strictly hitting the boat this time. There's a good find actually for Junie. Gets himself all topped off and good to go. First aid med 100. Has that shield potion right there as well. Which I'll do the trick. It's the first time we're going to be seeing the Saints go up against a little bit of wildlife here. First time the wolves come into play. Of course, collecting their meat is basically like a fast bandage. It doesn't heal for a lot, but you can heal pretty quickly in that regard. And then animal bones in general are also a crafting material for some of these weapon upgrades later down the line as well. So being able to pick up a couple is definitely a good thing there for the Saints. Well, the silence seems to be broken here right around the craggy cliffs. It looks like another team seems to have gotten a jump here onto some of the Saints members. A couple of them right above Junie. Where is Siri in this situation? Still rather healthy. Trying to make this flame bolt work from below, from above. Does not matter. Try to set those buildings on fire. Of course, they have themselves basically dead center here. Good positioning overall. If they want to set up the fort, they absolutely can. Probably have themselves a little bit of time before the next time they really have to move. The storm, of course, still moving in with about 1 minute and 20 seconds still left to go in that regard. Spotting out a couple of the players somewhere nearby. Siri trying to make a mess out of things. We have Junie and Lasix right behind them as well. Siri definitely hoping for a fight to go his way the last couple. Granted, he's been able to stay alive, but was constantly getting himself knocked down. Has that player completely pinned in, but the player does end up going back in, as one of his teammates was right behind him. So keeping him blocked out, whipping the wall out, shutting it down for at least a moment. And see here from Junie's point of view, has the other player on the other side. Big shot against Junie, however, bringing him to next to nothing, but he's going to keep himself alive. Going to have to try and retreat and get himself healed up. In the meantime, Siri still in the front lines, taking some heat for himself as well. Shield's getting rocked. His health is getting rocked. He's nearly going to go down. Another fight not going to go into his favor, and there's the squad right there in front of him. I don't know how the Saints are going to be able to even get there in time. I don't think they're going to be able to. Sure enough, going to look for the finisher. Putting on a little bit of a show here before they finish the job. Dylan going to find himself the elimination this time by. Where is Junie, however, in all this? Is still near Lasix, but of course, other than the shields that Junie currently has, does not have much else in regards to his health. Since Siri went down, basically Junie and Lasix fallen back, trying to keep themselves a little bit longer here in this game. Still about 50 players left in this lobby. Still a lot of work to do, just about 25 teams or so this time by. Getting closer and closer to that late game engagements where Saints usually tend to thrive and manage to get themselves maybe 1 or 2 extra eliminations, but it's definitely going to be difficult to try to go into any of these gunfights. Lasix not exactly the worst of conditions. That being said, though, with Junie running out of health healing materials, makes things a little bit difficult for him. He does manage to find some stray bandages, going to patch himself up for at least a little bit. Take anything compared to being sat there with about 8 health, so definitely going to take that one. Excuse me. Yeah, much better. After all that healing now, being able to get himself to about 75%. So this is much better going into this late game scenario. Right as the storm is about to start constantly shifting back and forth over and over again. So let's gotta see if they can hang on for dear life. Looks like Lasix may have found himself a small little engagement for at least the smallest of seconds, but able to get himself back into the swing of things. Of course, sticking here with Junie, going to try and make the move. Of course, Storm ready to make its move as well within the next 3 seconds. Craggy Cliffs are about to become painted in red, basically, with the way things are going here. About 42 players now left here in this game. Saints taking their time, making their move, trying to get themselves into the high ground. So far, they've been able to hang on to this pretty well uncontested. Nobody's going to be up here considering it was all in Storm. I say that, there was, sure enough, one person ready and waiting with a shotgun. Making things a little bit difficult here for Junie on the way up. Out in the open for just a second, and it's a second is all it's going to take to absolutely mow down Junie, which means we're going to be left with just Lasix to try and make this play. I'm going to ride along with him right here, right now. Last player alive on the squad. 25 players. Man, that sure changed quickly. We were at 40-something just a second ago. Left here in this game. And I like that. Even though the players may be knocked down, still trying to help Lasix, still trying to make callouts moving forward into this game. Still keeping himself safe as of right now. Shotgun shot, not going to find anybody at the moment. And he walks right into the one guy, Mr. Anonymous here, with the shotgun to the face. Going to finish off the Saints this time by going to get them positioned in 7th place in regards to that round, bringing them to a total of 164. We'll take a look and see where exactly that places them momentarily. Actually, double check, see if it updated right here, right now. It'd be nice if it was nice and quick. Might not necessarily be the case, however. But we can still take a rough guess. It would put them back into the top 20 if things, excuse me, if things stay the same here. So far, not a bad run. You can definitely tell the new season's maybe thrown a loop into their standard strategy, or maybe some teams have just straight up tried to contest their strategy a little bit from the past couple of weeks. Considering that area of the map was pretty much left alone, like, it's not too bad the Saints keep on falling there, but unfortunately, seeming to have a little bit of a harder time on those mid to late game scenarios. Unfortunately, that game right there for Siri just did not exactly go into his favor in the slightest. Pretty much every engage ended up with him on his knees on the floor. Granted, his team was there constantly to back him up all the way until the late game, which was just extremely difficult to do. I don't care how good you are, but you're trying to outbuild somebody while also keeping your teammate protected. That is extremely difficult. That being said, of course, while we do await our next game, we're already matchmaking right here, right now, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Do want to give a big shout out, of course, to the matches that we do have later on coming up this week. Of course, tomorrow we have ourselves 3 matches, 2 Rocket League and 1 Overwatch. We start things off with NECC Overwatch at 5:30. Then 8 o'clock and 9:30, we do have PlayVS Rocket League, the season opening week. Looking forward to seeing Endeavor, Kamal, and Garashi all take the field and pick up where they left off from some of these other leagues, because they have been absolutely killing it for the most part. Looking forward to seeing that team in competition, as well as the Overwatch team as well. All the players. Love watching all the players here on the Saints side of things, of course. People always ask me which game is my personal favorite in regards to broadcasting. Well, fun fact, my favorite esports don't get any varsity, or don't have varsity support because there's usually no collegiate league associated with them. So, my favorite is not existent here on the Saints side of things, but I still, of course, love watching all of the games. Just laughing at me in the background. Then, of course, then on Friday, we get to see some collegiate Hearthstone Championship action. Saints coming off of a solid run in the OPSE as well, sitting in the losers finals right now of the OPSE Hearthstone season. Had themselves a close one versus Carleton earlier today. 3-2 loss, very close battle. Looking forward to seeing if they can push that one further and then keep the momentum up here in the next league that they take part of. Then on Saturday at 7, of course, we have the Collegiate Cold War League for Activision Blizzard. Season finale for CSGO Basic Contenders League, Sunday at 5. Looks like this matchmaking's taking just a little bit longer than normal, so we're just going to throw ourselves to a very, very quick break. We'll be back when the bus drops. And we're off the bus and away we go. Game number 6 now here for the St. Clair Saints here in the Play versus Fortnite Trios Week 3 action, of course. A couple of the last rounds not necessarily going against their favor, but I mean, they made themselves get a top 8 that time by. I think that was Lasix able to finish the job, get themselves a little bit further on, give them those couple extra bonus points, which is always extremely valuable. And looking like for the start of this round might be a little bit quieter for the Saints, as nobody else appears anyway to be trying to contest them at the moment. Yeah, so pretty standard start here for the St. Clair side of things. Nobody with really any shields at the moment, but still plenty actually in the pocket. Just haven't popped them quite yet. I'll probably pass them out, gather rounds, get everybody all topped off, and get ready for what could possibly be their next engagement. Of course, you don't have to travel actually too far this time by. Safe zone not too far away. And I believe this game we did start off with 99, but we're already down to 81. A couple players getting dropped right off the start, down to 80 now. So passively, Saints going to be getting some points for having themselves a bit of a quiet start. But of course, they're going to absolutely take advantage of this quiet start, and then there we go. They did save that that slurp truck right till the very end, right when everybody was ready. Why have I never noticed that you can actually flatten tires on the cars here in Fortnite? The more you know, of course. Basically the name of the game here for this game, considering how new this patch is. Granted, the flat tire thing could have been from past patches as well, and I just didn't realize it. Yeah, Saints get to hit up exactly where they want to go. Pick up that spot off in the very far west, go up to this castle up here on the top. They can, in theory, go towards the coral area right below them if they do opt to. Still have a minute of looting basically completely free. Then they got to start worrying about the storm a little bit. But still, of course, that first initial storm travel time is so long, they could probably get away with a little bit more looting. No excuse that they shouldn't be pretty much loaded up and good to go here for this this mid game. Nice little pickup. Has a shotgun, rifle. For the most part, Junie's pretty much good to go. Probably just wants to find a crossbow, and then we'll be good to go at some point. Siri in a little bit worse for wear, but does have that crossbow available. Gonna be scavenging through some of these cars, trying to find some of those crafting metals. Get the job done that way. Okay, Siri does spot a player right off in the high ground in the other side. Put a little warning shots towards them. Those arrows, not going to find contact this time by, however. Of course, not going to find the bounty that they were looking for. Going to let that one go to the wayside. A nice, quiet, successful start here for the Saints to get this one going. Full health all around into the safe zone. Good to go. Got themselves at least a decent loadout to get things moving. Not quite perfect, but still okay. Just getting the update as to the Saints' current position here in this Play vs. Fortnite Week 3 session. As of right now, sitting 47th, so just inside the top 50. Sitting there, of course, with 165 points after 5 games. Meanwhile, just to compare what the leaders are looking like right now, the leader has 317 points off of 4 games, so they're definitely killing it as of right now. Saints still have some work to do, but could definitely find themselves a good couple of rounds right around the corner. Oh dear, it must be that time of year. Cat jumps on me and all of a sudden I just walk out with a handful of cat fur. F's in chat for all the pet owners dealing with their pets shedding this time of year. Shots fired. What's going on here? It looks like it's going to be on Siri's side of things for at least a second. Might have been just one of those NPCs. No, it's actually going to be one of those wolves looking to come play from the riverfront. He just wants to play, but no. He actually wants your blood. So fair enough. Take him down. Get the bones for the crafting materials as well. Could find some use later down the line. Very well might have enough. Sure enough, he does have enough materials to get himself that crossbow off the start. I think this is the smoke gas one this time by. 11 shots to it, so not too many, but enough to still do some damage in engagement. Might very well find somebody. He's going to try and flush them out right away, launching some of those gas arrows towards the players. Looks like the other team thought twice about making an engagement after that, so they're going to run for the hills. Okay, some shots fired here right on the entrance of the safe zone and here in the Slurpy swamp side of things. Siri has an angle on them, tries to take the shot, not going to find it. He's going to get himself hit up, however. Knocked down to about 41 shields, but still have all of his life remaining. Assault rifle shot's going to go a little bit wide here. Junie did take a little bit of heat as well. Going to have to take a second to pop that shield potion. There's Siri getting the jump. 90 shields taken away from the player from below. Can they make something happen? A shotgun and just barely get blocked in time by the wall. Definitely takes a long time to get through the metal, continue to move forward onto this team. Where is Junie at? A little bit off to the side, but above the action. Could finally find an opportunity to strike momentarily, but looks like there's maybe more than one team here as of this moment. Or just the one team all kind of gathered up here. Have to see in a second. Siri forced to find some cover, get some shields back nice and quick. And Junie's still going back and forth with somebody, able to hang on tight for just a little bit longer. Where is Siri in all this? Looks like he's got the crossbow out, ready to go, trying to make something happen. But no shots actually making contact as of yet. Shot. Gonna try and just flush him out. Slowly but surely take away as many angles as possible. A bit of a stalemate. Nobody on the side of the Saints taking any damage as of this moment. And some more of those smoke arrows. Yeah, they're going to have to run without question there. Nice shots there for Siri to start things off. And the Saints follow up with any sort of eliminations. As of right now, they've not been able to get anything in regards to eliminations for the most part in this game. Okay, gets a jump on a team from below. Nearly taking them down. Some good shots here from Junie. And not enough to get the job done. Nobody knocked at all. Whichever team it's from, not quite able to finish a job just yet. Got ourselves somebody through the river, but as Junie tries to open fire, does get shot from another angle. Forced to go back on the defensive. Here alongside Lasix. Here alongside Junie as well. Or alongside Siri, rather, as well. Couple shots tagging some of our Saints members, but they're going to be able to heal it up just fine. Yeah, fine spot right now for Junie, able to just farm away basically up on the top side of things. Siri going to be basically into the middle of things. Going to have to pop a potion at this moment. See some shots from across the board. Can Junie find an angle to get some shots? He's looking for it. Nearly taking down that building, but not quite getting through in time. Still going to keep trying. Have the eyes here on this squad across the hall, but just can't quite get anything done. Stalemate kind of continues, probably at least until this next storm starts making its move. Very few people, if anybody, are actually going to be properly set up for where this is. Saints know that. They're trying to make their move nice and early. Maybe see if they can catch somebody else on the rotation a little bit later. Trying to play along the edges. Siri's going to lead the charge. Rest of the Saints going to be very short to follow here. And to be honest, as of right now, Saints completely safe after making that rotation into the safe zone for the second. There's still about 49 players left in this game. Big shot here from Siri. Holy smokes, that smoke can, or that smoke arrow was absolutely money. Knocked one of the players, completely taking them down and forcing the rest of the teammates to skedaddle. And it's going to force Saints to basically whip out the harpoon gun, get a bunch of their loot as well. I want to say it was Junie managed to snag himself a purple weapon of some sort, which is always valuable. Going to take a moment, reset here. They put a lot of ammunition in onto that building from below. There is the purple weapon in question. That's going to be the primal shotgun actually here. That was picked up by either Lasix or Junie. Now going to be passed on over to Siri. Going to try and make late game Siri a thing. He's in solid position. Rifle, crossbow, and shotgun. Basically the dream trio here for late game Fortnite action. More and more players falling. The Saints, for the most part, have been able to kind of keep their head low. May have found a couple of opportunities to get themselves into some engagements. That being said, though, they're not the ones finding the finishing blows necessary to give themselves some points. Them reaching as high as they are here into this game, I think they did make the top 14, it looks like. So, still some solid points going, and with more and more players falling as the rotations get more and more scary. There's more and more points going into the Saints time and time again. Saints are a little bit split up, however, makes things a little bit awkward. Looks like Junie is completely separated from Siri and Lasix to start things off into this late game scenario. 24 players still remaining. Storm still just constantly rotating through, and it will be pretty much for the rest of the game until it completely disappears. And the entire storm is just, or until the entire map is just completely stormed out. Some poke damage coming in here from the storm, really making them a little bit of a mess out of things. Siri opening fire, not quite going to find somebody. Junie right from above. Lasix is there as well. Just trying to slowly but surely crawl alongside this storm. Try and stay as safe as possible. Now the Saints are all grouped up, moving together as a pack. The fact that all three of them are here with less than 20 players left in the lobby is a solid change indeed compared to how this day was going. However, that player from above with the shotgun is going to really put a thorn into the side of St. Clair. Siri's getting rained on from above as well. Lasix is going to go down. Not completely out, however, the refrag coming out here from Junie. So it's going to be one elimination, two eliminations into the pocket of St. Clair. That is going to be Lasix completely out of dodge. Somehow, Siri did get murked as well, so Tax is going to take care of him. So it's going to be up to late game Junie. He is completely surrounded. He's pinched in by the storm. 7 people alive. He nearly just completely chunked that player from all of his shields. Someone fell right in front of him. Get one more shot, and he's going to be able to get the player right before they went down. So Junie, the last-ditch effort, going to put St. Clair into a pretty profitable round, to be honest. That actually started off so slow. I know personally, I apologize. I was a little bit quiet during a little bit of that one. Was reading up on a couple of the changes here in Fortnite, but just overall good turnaround there for the Saints, having all three of them available when there was 20 players left. Kept them in the game that much longer. It was good to see. This puts them now at 219 points here in the session, which in theory should bump them probably into top 40 at this rate. I will see what the points look like right here right now. So let's see, 219 in theory bumps them just outside the top 10 actually. Just inside the top 20. So okay, so in theory, tied for 20th right here. So, a good run, making game number 6 count, and we'll be right back with game number 7. One, or maybe have time for maybe... They might be able to get themselves 10 games here today if they actually keep this one up. They're on pace to do so. Of course, we did just pass 10 o'clock, 10:12 as of this moment here. Of course, we were on a little bit of a delay, so... Might be different by the time you actually get this message, but of course, as soon as it hits 11 o'clock, matchmaking closes. That's the end of it. So we'll have to see if Saints going to go guns blazing for these last 3, or maybe try and do one aggressive game and maybe a couple of longer rounds. We'll have to see in a second. Not going to throw it to a break, however, because they are actually loading into the next matchup right here, right now, right around the corner. Of course, want to give a big shout out to everybody tuning in here tonight. I know a bit of a quiet night. I know I apologize. My throat is not exactly 100% here, so I'm a little bit quieter than normal. But of course, a big thank you to everybody tuning in and chatting with us here tonight. Of course, game 6 out of possible 10 games. And big thank you. We assume the 3s make you reckless. Reckless, thank you for the bits. Thank you for your support. Pleasure having you here with us for these next matches here for PlayVS Fortnite Trios, Week 3 action, and you can probably hear it in the background. A couple of extra beeps going down means that we are on the bus. We're ready to go. Let's hop back into the swing of things here. Game number 7. Let's see what the Saints can pull off this time. As of this moment anyway, it does look like it's going to be another quiet landing here for our Saints, and quiet for them. While it may be a little bit slow for us here on the spectating side of things, quiet is good. Give you all the time in the world to get as much farming done as possible. Load up on everything you can. Not have to worry about it for the late game. Always a good feeling. We dropped in with about 85, so maybe 90 or so players, and they are dropping like flies, to say the least, to get this game started here. Already down to 78. And it is something we do see here in the PlayVS Fortnite Trios matchup, is that the closer we get to that 11 o'clock mark is usually the closer we get to seeing some teams start going maybe a little bit reckless abandon of sorts for their next couple rounds, just looking for blood, looking to finish them off. Sometimes they're just straight up getting tired, and they just want to finish things off. Get as much value as possible, and maybe go a little bit too high risk, high reward. Yeah, so far, very standard start here for our Sanctuary squad. Once again, getting all slurped up, taking care of the transport, loaded up on weapons as well. Or at least some of them loaded up on weapons. Some still hurting just a little bit. Let's take a look and see what Junie's got. Junie's pretty solid, to be honest. Of course, one of the few players that do still not mind an SMG. Seeing there, the shotgun, and now that he found a rifle, actually is going to switch on all over. Fair enough, fair enough. And does have that harpoon available as well. Did see it come into effect a little bit in the later sections of that last round. Whenever you kill off somebody, they have some decent loot, but it's in a bit of a faraway place that you can't really reach. Perfect to just whip out the harpoon and take care of it. Saints will have a long way to travel, however, this time, considering that the safe zone is basically all the way on the other side of the map. So we see Siri getting ready to mark the spot. Where do they want to go? A little bit closer to the spire, maybe not 100% close to the spire. We saw them, or I know personally I saw them kind of taking a look at it during the setup for the game, but not necessarily big fans of that location, to say the least. To see one team maybe making the pass just ahead of our Saints squad, and actually we could be on for a collision course. The truck is barely actually going to flip on over here. Saints might have the jump here on this squad. That being said, not all of the Saints are exactly the most heavily armed, but might be able to still make something work as we see this fight continue on forward. Siri does have the high ground. The player is actually chasing him down, however. Shotgun blast from both sides is going to get nothing but floor. Back and forth action here. Possibly close out Game 7 in quick fashion, or Saints are going to come out with a couple eliminations right off the start. I'm sure they would absolutely love that if they could get that. Yep, that gas canister is going to completely destroy the buildings around here. That player is completely exposed, gets knocked over. Beautiful play there from the Saints to clean this one up nicely. That's going to be one elimination for sure on the board, getting picked up there by Siri. Still got to worry about the other ones. Junie took a little bit of damage, but not actually too bad. And the dust has settled. They take care of this nicely. They have to worry about the storm, but should be able to load up nicely. Of course, health pack, multiple health packs available here for the side of the Saints. Fully loaded with 3 of them, actually. So sitting nice and pretty to start off this round. And it's definitely a feel-good moment when you, like, as much as you love having a nice early quiet start that you can just worry about loading up on all of your items and moving forward, sometimes getting that early engagement and then finally having it go into your favor, knowing like, at worst, okay, even if we do end up going down a little bit early, we at least got these many eliminations, so we're going to be a-okay in that regard. Nice little bit of insurance of sorts for the Saints going into the end of, or into this midsection here for game number 7. I was getting worried for a second there. A lot of the Saints still kind of stuck here in this storm, but at least there is the zip line available. Zip right into the water. Nice, avoiding any sort of fall damage as well. Nice play there from Siri. Get himself nice and close and should be able to make it outside of the storm. Just barely here at the Weeping Woods. Down to about 17, however. He might have to pop the health pack. How greedy does he want to be? He is going to make it inside and instantly build himself a small shelter with 10 health remaining. Perfect timing. Get all topped off here in regards to first aid. All maxed out once again at 100. Perfect timing. Okay, as the storm's getting ready to go on in, let's take a look and see what some of these loadouts are looking like here. So, of course, we got the bolt or not the bolt action, but the pump action shotgun alongside the Scar here for Siri. So it's good that he's able to get that solid assault rifle in his pocket. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Junie. Pretty much as comfortable as he's going to be. Not with any sort of like major long-range weapon, but at least he does have the assault rifle. That being said, one thing I will notice is 40 bullets left on that assault rifle. That is going to disappear very quickly. Meanwhile, you do see like Siri, for example, sitting there with 200 and something ammo. You're feeling a little bit better after like having that much compared to what Junie is rocking. So he's going to have to take some time a little bit before it starts getting into the chaos of the late game. Try and find a little bit more ammo. Find a couple extra assault rifles to maybe steal the ammo from or something like that. Right now, Storm converging more and more into that very southeastern side. A little bit of action here for the Saints now as we do start getting into the safe zone right on the outside of Misty Meadows here. Team up on the high ground, going to make things difficult for them to try and make their way over. Siri's going to get through just fine, but I know Junie and Lasix are on the outside looking in here for at least a second. Looks like everybody's kind of gathered around now. Pass on over a couple of those supplies. Try to get their partner in a position where they can get themselves some stronger weapons, because this is when you're going to need it in these last couple of like final scenarios. Every bullet, every little piece of damage definitely counts. action, of course, was a little bit short-lived here. Seems like everybody's backed off, at least for the moment. Had to worry about the storm once again, of course. Storm location has definitely not exactly been in the favor of the Saints for the most part here in this series. This is definitely going to be a hard spot for the Saints to properly set up in. We do see that sniper tower essentially all the way up to the top. Saints might actually try to make a play here towards that care package, considering they're trying to make their move over, but there is, of course, plenty of eyes here on that. Gonna not get this for free, per se. Gonna be kind of stuck. I don't even know if he can actually get it. He might very well opt to back off it. They are so close, but at the same time, so far, it feels like. So close. Junie is going to end up getting shot down here. The play for the care package may have been ill-advised here for the side of St. Clair. Junie is going to get taken down by an anonymous player. Siri still alive, of course, topping off as much as possible there with some of those shields. And I mean, they do find themselves a golden crossbow. That is kind of sick. I'm sure that Siri would absolutely love to pick that up. At least for the Saints, though, as soon as that care package did go down, a lot of the pressure did stop. That being said, though, still have to worry at least a little bit. Teams just on the outside of them. Excuse me. Yeah, so of course Siri's going to have himself that golden crossbow. It is the smoke version as well. Assault rifle in hand as well. Shotgun good to go. Lasix still rather healthy. Don't got necessarily a view in regards to what they have available to them. We'll get to see this smoke bow in action here. It's brand new for the season. Going to completely smoke out this area. You see a couple of fives jumping here. These are all players getting tagged by the smoke. Granted, that smoke does not last a long time, but it's still enough to try and make a team completely evacuate the area. Under 50 players left to go here. Still plenty of action in store, however. Gonna get messy at a moment's notice at this rate. I mean, Siri did use a lot of those crossbow shots, but not enough really left in the tank, it feels like. About under 20 shots remaining. Lasix is actually, at least in regards to his weapon arsenal, not too bad. Shotgun and assault rifle ready to go. Has the harpoon available as well if something happens to be valuable laying on the ground. Shots from above, however, going to make things a little bit difficult here for Lasix. Where is Siri in all this? top down, looking in. Trying to maybe get himself a nice cheap knockdown if somebody happened to take a little bit too much heat. It's smoked out. Good damage. There's a knockdown. Can they find themselves the finishing blow? However, that player is falling down more and more. The Saints are going to chase him down. And it's going to be Siri cleaning that one up as quick as possible. Nicely done there. Forty-three people still left to go. Storm about to make its move once again. How much more smoke does Siri have left in this bow? He's down to the single digits, it looks, or not single digits, down to 9 shots left. And it's not exactly to the point where you can count on being able to get more ammo later. You'd have to basically eliminate somebody and try to steal their ammo. There's no way you're going to be able to loot anything at this rate. Storm still moving on forward. Saint's going to try and keep himself right alongside it. They could get the jump on somebody. Some huge damage coming out here from Siri. Can he find himself the finishing blow? Looks like he should be able to secure it. Yes, that is going to be Lasix actually securing that one. What gets dropped? Is there anything very useful? They do get a couple of bolts actually, so not too bad. Up to 14 smoke shots available now. Of course, Siri locked and loaded here with a gold scar as well. Definitely extremely strong weapon for these late game scenarios. 34 players still available. Lasix gets knocked and gets taken down. Means it is going to be all up to late game Siri to close off this game. Big shot, 72 damage. One more shot could definitely do the trick. Can he find the player? Does end up taking him down. I think that was credited to him. It is, in fact, going to be able to. So Saints, 7 kills on the board right now, but they have to worry about the Storm. It's so close to taking him down. Where are the fish? Can it keep him alive just a little bit longer? It's not even in late game. He would have absolutely have loved to have those fish for the late game. And that wall is going to make things extremely difficult for him. He's got to get himself into the safety of this zone because he cannot afford to take any more health damage, has nothing left to heal. So all these storm ticks, absolutely brutal, and he's going to end up going down, but a valiant effort getting the Saints a second place finish. Puts them now at 285. A fantastic run there for the Saints, getting themselves their second runner-up finish here in this game. And actually looks like Siri's going to show me the scoreboard right here, right now, saying the top 8% of players. Will get exactly what that means in just a moment, of course. We'll be very quickly, though, taking a briefest of breaks as we get into game number 8, possibly 3 more here for the Saints, but they only have about 25 minutes to get it done. We'll see the conclusion up next. All right, round 8 underway here for week 3 of PlayVS Fortnite action. Trio of Junie, Siri, and Lasix taken to the skies once again here. And as of right now, I think it's going to be a little bit busier than normal. Hello, Fishbones coming in hot, maybe possibly contesting the Saints. And I mean, it's been pretty hit or miss so far. Saints, I think basically 1-1 or a 1-win, 1-loss in regards to early engagements so far. Just trying to see if any of the teams are going to actually pull back. It doesn't look, or maybe one of them actually did. We'll have to see in a second. None of the Saints squad were able to land on the roof. Lasix going to try and build his way all the way up there. Junie going to take the low side of things. Going to have Siri instantly going to take the car. Does not want the opposing squad to get all that free shielding. He's just going to take it for himself. Junie does have a shotgun available to contest if necessary, but it looks like that other team did just kind of pull back for at least a moment. So a little bit of a breather here for St. Clair to start this off, but they have to know that there's going to be a team pretty much right on their tail as soon as they turn their backs. Okay, Siri gets himself in a little bit of a mess here. Does find maybe one of those teams. He's going to find himself a nice knockdown, but he has to be careful enough to find himself an opponent. Sure enough, it's going to be the case, but he was ready for it. Finds himself another one. One knockdown successful. There's the elimination. Just have to find ourselves another one. Siri may have been the one getting jumped on, but he's the one finishing the job here. As long as they could find the other player as well. There, the player is going to take care of that one. So for sure, a solid start here for St. Clair. They knew that there would be somebody nearby ready to contest at a moment's notice, and they absolutely light them up for free, not taking a whole heck of a lot of damage. Nicely executed. Ever since that early engagement, it's been rather quiet here for all of our Saints squad as they continue to take their time looting everything up, going through Sweaty Sands, where I think the first time here today, one of the few places basically untouched from the last patch for the most part. Maybe a few NPCs moves or something, but relatively similar looking nonetheless. And of course, it's always up in this area where things have changed. Of course, constantly full of nature, trees absolutely everywhere. No more anime crystals, as I called it during the last season. No more Guilty Gear air dashes. Taking that out of the game for some more standard battle royale style, a little bit more realistic. Here's some shots in the background and some buildings actually in the left-hand side here, right in view here of Junie. Saints in position to possibly third party in onto this engagement. They very well might want to go for it. You can see the players crawling on through, and Siri's going to be the one getting first hand. He's waiting for his shots, waiting until he can actually pull it off, but a good spin around, good build on the side of that other player up there. Good shields getting taken down off of the one player. However, still, of course, in the shields, and not terrible as of this moment. Siri going to make his move in. Junie's right behind as well. Lasix trailing behind, but still right there for the covering fire. Lots of shots fired. Is anybody paying attention to this wall? Sure enough, the player inside was ready and waiting. Multiple shotgun blasts. There's Lasix as well. Good shot here onto Siri, losing basically the majority of his shields as of this moment. Unfortunately for the Saints, it may have been a little bit too little too late in regards to getting themselves a third party, but now that one of the teams are down, maybe they can do a little bit of a cleanup job here on the other team. Big shotgun blast going to really nuke Siri down for a lot of health. Junie and Lasix are going to probably have to try to hold this one off for at least a little bit. Lasix is going to go down. Huge play here from the player inside this, and that's going to be Lasix going down completely. Not going to be able to keep going here in this game. They went for it, but not quite going to find it. And actually, big props to Lasix and Junie. They were the ones who were able to clean up some of the other players. I thought the Saints didn't get exactly a part of that, but they absolutely must have. I see 4 points here on the board here for the Saints as of this moment anyway. Junie taken down to pretty low health. Basically 37 left on the block for him, and he does have access to a first aid kit, so he could very well use that. Siri still on the hunt right by the bridge. Saints don't have to move this second anyway, but that being said, very shortly, Storm will be coming on through. They're going to have to make their move again. Saints definitely still have to be careful. Someone right in a corner. Siri could have himself to jump on somebody. Getting a lot of white. Does knock somebody down. Low on health, however. Can he find himself the finishing blow? Where is Junie? Can he find it for him? Maybe, maybe not in this situation. So you're looking from above. Not quite going to be able to find him as of yet. Junie hunting on through, but can't quite find it. He's going to eat a ton of damage, however. Going to have to run away at this point. Siri, though, from the other angle, able to find the knockdown. They just need some sort of finishing blow. Does spot the player trying to take a ride through the river, but is going to be taken down. That's elimination number 6 now here for St. Clair. Make that 7. It does look like the last player ended up being finished off after all. There's still one more, however. A little bit messy here. We do see Junie knocked down, but Siri, where is he going to pop on up? Can he get here in time? Not in time to save Junie, but there's another huge shotgun shot to the face. Not going to happen. That's going to be 9th place here for Saints. Wow, the fact that they're in the top 10, that early really goes to show how aggressive some of these teams are playing in the later stages of this series. And I don't blame the Saints for trying to get aggressive. They have one more opportunity to take a swing at one more round here in the PlayVS Fortnite Trios for Week 3, because we are about 5 minutes away from matchmaking closing. So they really wanted to make sure they went out here with a bang and didn't want to stall out a game where they were already down a couple players. Biggest mistake ever was having the cat jump onto my lap mid broadcast, and now I feel like I have cat fur everywhere. F's in chat for shedding season. Let's take a look at our leaderboard here. If the Saints were in the they're in 335 as of this moment. Gonna refresh the Fortnite tracker to see exactly where we stand. 335 should break us into top 10 as of right now. So, Saints definitely coming along. Game 3 and 4 were definitely a bit rough, but ever since then, they've been able to get themselves at least some high kill games or some well-placed games, like 2 second-place runner-up finishes, of course, and then 1 7th-place position, and then the 9th here in this last one. Even though it was super early, but that will do. We'll definitely take that for sure. And we are getting ready to load in to what is likely going to be our final game here of the night. Just waiting for a couple more players to fill out the lobby. So before we do, of course, head into the action, big thank you to everybody for tuning in to the Fortnite broadcast here tonight. Of course, I do apologize, I'm a little quieter than usual. I'm slightly losing my voice, but try my best to still make it as entertaining as possible for everybody tuning in. I know Fortnite can sometimes be a lot to take in all at once, especially since there is the whole brand new map, brand new patch, lots of stuff for us to learn together. Heck, I don't have everything under or completely figured out as well, so we're all learning together here. And of course, big thank you to our sponsors that make this all happen: the St. Clair College, Suckman School of Business and Information Technology, EC Outlet, Tim Hortons, St. Clair SRC, as well as the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Thank you so much for having us and supporting us, of course, here in the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. Of course, while we are still loading in, I actually also want to throw something else at you guys. Make sure you do check out our merch store, as it is currently being updated. More and more new stuff around the corner, whether it be the jacket, similar to like the one that I am wearing right here, right now, sweaters, t-shirts, masks, and many more to come. Acquire.ca/saints is where you can pick one up for yourself. Make sure you pick one of these up for springtime. It's actually really nice. Definitely recommend. Whew. Saints are loading on in right here, right now, right around the corner. So while we do load on in one more time, do want to go over our schedule for the stuff that is going to be coming up in the next couple of days, because we do have, of course, tomorrow at 5:30, NECC Overwatch action. Chatty and Seymour are going to be bringing you the action there for that matchup. It should be an exciting one. Overwatch squad, basically the upper middle of the pack, looking to see how far they can push here this season. Then tomorrow for PlayVS Rocket League, 8 o'clock and 9:15 season opening matches for our Rocket League squad. Then on Friday, we do have some collegiate Hearthstone action, Hearthstone Collegiate Championships. Saturday, we do have the Activision Blizzard Collegiate Cold War matchup at 7. The season finale for Face It CSGO Contenders League, Sunday at 5. But without further ado, let's hop into what is likely going to be the final matchup of the day, unless something absolutely bonkers happens within the first minute of this game starting. Looks like to start things out, this one will be a nice quiet start here for St. Clair. Nobody really going to be here to contest them. Load up on shields right away and start going for some weapons. There's a nice little start there for Siri. Nice little purple primal shotgun ready and waiting. Probably just begging for somebody. Don't try to hunt them down now. And we're going to have ourselves a little bit of action, why don't we, here for our final matchup of the evening. Siri has the high ground, and it looks like this other team just basically completely turtling, and it's going to leave them absolutely wide open here for Siri to just have open season on basically whomever he pleases. They're going to try and make a run for it, going to get instantly knocked down, tried to make the run for the car. Not going to happen. Siri is going point blank. Of course, he's got that purple shotgun. He wants to play, and he's going to try and hunt them down. One more knock, looking for another. Team wiped. Beautifully done there from St. Clair. That is how you start off a game. You have all the time in the world to farm up, and then the engagement goes absolutely swimmingly here for the side of St. Clair. Very well, might not be over yet either. A couple pot shots being shot over to the far side. Not finding anybody too severely, but almost catching them. Now with this storm location, Saints have the perfect opportunity to take all the time in the world they wish. Farm up as much as possible. They don't have to worry about going anywhere. This is exactly how you want it to be done. Eventually, of course, once this first storm moves in, probably start thinking about trying to center up here with the next side of the storm. Build yourself a fort and see if maybe you can catch a couple stragglers going into the next time by. That's what I like to see in the chat. Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing the Saints finish strong. Of course, if you're probably just catching that last battle as well. Definitely a feel-good moment so far here for the Saints to start off this final game of the evening. Already content knowing the fact that they've got themselves a couple of points via eliminations, but of course they're going to want as many more as possible. I would really love to say that the Saints had 10 kills on the board right now and not just be a memer, but we'll have to see if they can get there. The storm closing on in. Where in the world is it going to end up going here? We see the Saints ready to make a move towards the middle, but it depends if the storm actually cooperates with exactly what they're doing. How far do they have to move? It looks like they are going to have to get going here. So, true enough, pretty much dead center. Siri, marking the spot. That is where they're going to start looking to transition on over to. Looks like we already have... What in the world is Junie doing way over here? Playing in the storm as of right now. Specifically to try and pick up one of those specific upgrades from probably a specific NPC. I'm not 100% sure as to that one. I'm guessing that would have to be the situation here. Unfortunately there for Junie. Kind of stuck taking the long way around to get himself back into safe zone. Here comes good guy Lasix with the Rocket League car on his way through. They're gonna have to top themselves off a little bit, but there are of course first aid kits right there ready and available, so they'll be okay. I'm very surprised with how confident Saints are playing going into this one. You normally will not see them split up this far. Like the fact that Siri's already in the safe zone and Lasix and Junie are still basically at where they landed. That's very unusual from the Saints side of things. Hopefully for Siri, he's not getting a little bit too overzealous. I know he loves to go in, but at the same time, has to make sure he has his backup available. I don't care how good you are. You end up getting ganged up on with 3 people who have shotguns to your face. You're probably not winning that battle. A little bit of a long shot there coming from the sweaty sands. Somebody opening fire down there on, I believe it was Junie, who got tagged up for a little bit of shield damage. Now, the nice thing here for Siri specifically, all the way up on this gigantic sniper tower of sorts, this gigantic spire, is going to be shot at, but it would have to be from somebody else who's on the high ground. Who else is looking at him in that situation? We'll have to find out. He's going to pass around as much healing as possible here. And and then just launch themselves right into the drink. As the Saints run across the river, they will be spotting a couple of teams right above them on the bridge, firing back and forth with each other, and right down the river as well. Possibly another team. Siri nearly had the jump onto somebody who was right around the corner, who fell off of the bridge. But we're going to have to see if maybe Siri or somebody else on the side of the Saints can pull off a successful third-party scenario. He's taking his time, really looking forward. Junie going to come join up here with Lasix. And okay, Siri's right around the corner as well. So the gang's all here. When is the time to strike? Bit of a nasty engage here against the Saints building, but Siri and the rest of the Saints going to be able to keep this all cleaned up, keep it all fortified for at least the moment. Junie taking himself a little bit of shield damage, but nothing too significant. With the Eye of the Storm showing a new location, it's not in a spot that the Saints have to really move around for. That being said, they're going to try and crawl through the buildings, try and get to as centered into the safe zone, into the Eye of the Storm as possible. But as we can see, the closer and closer they start moving in, constantly getting peppered and barraged here by some sort of assault rifle bullets. Which is definitely nerve-wracking here for the Saints, considering all these resources that they are blowing now are resources that they will not have later on in the game. Some shots fired close, however, nothing making contact with anybody. Players spotted out here. It's possibly looking to make their move, just fortify up a little bit longer. Sure, they do not want to rush anything. Still quite a few players left in this game, 67 to be specific. See here from Siri's point of view, teams all around the St. Clair squad taking shots at each other. That being said, still 67 people in this game. Not much effectiveness, not much actually making any contact. Now that the storm's moved in, this next storm location is going to force the St. Clair squad to move a little bit. Don't have to move too far, but that being said, with so many players in such a small place, even moving just a tiny bit is going to be difficult, as we can see pretty much in the buildings right in front of the St. Clair squad. Team ready and waiting. Lots of shots fired. Nothing making contact, at least for the side of Siri. There we go. Does end up finding himself a quick 50. Somebody wounded, but not quite down. It might be the opportunity now for Siri to say to the rest of the Saints, just time to go in. Lasix and Junie on the run. After clearing their path, they were able to get themselves inside of the Eye of the Storm. Storm closes on in. They're going to be A-okay for the next minute or so. That being said, their relief will be short-lived, as the storm will then shrink once again. The Saints themselves might be rather safe, but all around them, players are falling. We were at about 67 just a few moments ago. Now down to 55. And bodies just keep on dropping. But as they look out the building, you can see just towers upon towers. Players and players. How do you actually make a move onto this? It beats me. Maybe you don't have to make a move at all with this storm so small up in the very southwest corner of the map. Saints don't have to move at all. Player out in the open getting completely lit upon. That being said, none of these shots actually seem to be making contact here for Siri until about now. They make the run, they try to cover themselves up, but as they cross the river, everybody still seems to be up. Saints still with a very strong position, don't have to move at all. Storm coming in 20 seconds though, and then this fort may not exactly be where they want to be for very long anyway. Oh, how quickly the game state can change here. Where we were at 55, we are now sitting at 38. Saints still solid position, but now with the storm going to just completely yeet itself across the map, it feels like. Saints getting ready to move. Junie, Lasix, and Siri on the way right here right now. A little bit of a troll build coming out here. I don't know if that was Siri who planted that or somebody else, but they are going to be being shot upon from multiple directions. Messy finish to this one. Beautiful shot here for Junie, or for Lasix, however. Gonna make things a little bit messy. Everybody from Saints still standing until Lasix and Junie both go down at the same time. Siri gonna be short to follow. and how quickly that game seems like they're actually in a solid position, the game just completely closes on out. Unfortunately, there for the Saints side of things, but they do manage to get themselves inside the top 15. And with that, they are going to be finishing off the night with a score of 377, which as of right now will put them in the top 20. However, there's probably still a couple of games still just around the corner from finishing off. And that will be it in regards to the matches here tonight. But of course, still plenty of action right around the corner in the upcoming days. I want to quickly throw it to the schedule because we did make a very, very quick update. As of course, we didn't know exactly 100% which league the Hearthstone match on Friday was, but that is actually the Activision Blizzard Hearthstone Collegiate Championships. So that's what's going to be played on Friday at 8 o'clock. There would be then a Collegiate R6 match, but we've been told we cannot stream that match this time by our opponents. So it is what it is. We will get you the results on that one via our Twitter as soon as possible, of course. And of course, running it down one more time, NECC Overwatch tomorrow at 5:30. Doubleheader then of Rocket League later on that night, 8 o'clock, and then 9:30 rather. Then, of course, Friday we got Hearthstone Collegiate Championships. Saturday at 7 we have Activision Blizzard Collegiate Cold War. And the season finale for the Face It CSGO Contenders League, Sunday at 5. But a solid showing here for the Saints overall. Not necessarily their best of the season so far, but still over 100 and some odd entries here in the PlayVS Collegiate Fortnite Trios. And yet our team is constantly, week in, week out, within the top 20. Personally, definitely proud of that. And especially being able to pull off such a solid run when the map has completely changed by basically just modifying the strategy that you were kind of already using and making it work. Whenever they were challenged early, it was a little bit hit or miss. However, especially near the end of the series of matches tonight, they were able to pull a couple of solid engagements in their favor. They got aggressive, were able to figure it out, even if it meant Siri hit his knees for her a couple seconds. The rest of the team were able to clean up and pick him back up afterwards. Let his aggressive playstyle pay off. It was an overall pretty solid day. With that being said, of course, one more time, let's give out a couple thank yous. First off to everybody for tuning in and supporting your Fortnite squad here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Thank you for joining us. Then, of course, big thank you to the sponsors: Supplement School of Business of Information Technology, St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, PC Outlet, St. Clair College Alumni Association, and the St. Clair SRC. Thank you for sponsoring us here at the St. Clair Saints Varsity Esports team. Definitely could not do without you. Of course, one more time, make sure you take a look at our Acquire store, acquire.ca/Saints. To pick up spring jacket, very similar to what I'm wearing right now. Maybe snag yourself a sweater, t-shirt, jersey, mask, and plenty more to come. A link shown on your screen right there, right now. Make sure you get a piece of it. Represent your Saints in style, while also being rather comfy, I will admit. Of course, big thank you again for everyone tuning in. I know this may not have been my most energetic of streams, but I thank you for joining me nonetheless. Hopefully still entertained you just a little bit here tonight, especially with the show that the Saints were putting on here today. A couple ups and downs, but still finishing up in the top 20 is still an absolutely fantastic night nonetheless. Of course, if you wish to follow any of my personal antics on Twitter, that'll be, as you see below on my tag there, at Mr_Danners. And of course, you'll probably be seeing more of me very, very shortly. Of course, being the producer here, anytime there is an empty slot on stream, you will definitely see me. But at the same time, these streams are also opportunities for students of St. Clair that do want to start leveling up their ability in broadcasting. So whether you want to be an observer, whether you want to be a commentator, or possibly even a director one day, join our Saints Discord and message me. And we can get you started as soon as possible, regardless of what your experience is. If you're serious about leveling up as a caster, observer, or somewhere in regards to streaming, I'll gladly help you and give you opportunity. Be sure to let me know. But with that, we shall close out for tonight. Thank you again for everybody tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow for our extremely busy Thursday, starting off with NECC Overwatch and finishing off with Rocket League.